Let's go.
From Nintendo and Illumination.
The Super Mario Brothers can take care of the kingdom.
Comes a super-powered adventure. On April 1st.
Pack our things.
The galaxy gets even bigger.
He knows that's my bike, right?
Yes, sir.
The Super Mario Galaxy movie. Rated PG. Only theaters April 1st. Get tickets now.
Picture this. A curve in the road. A change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
You're big.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'11".
And how much do you weigh?
255 pounds.
I would not mess with you, but he messed with you.
This is the plaintiff, John Maloney. He says the defendant used to work for him as a doorman at his bar and grill, and one night he was arrested for beating up a patron. He came to the guy's rescue and bailed him out of jail, and now the guy won't reimburse him for the $4,000 he's out. This money was in no way a gift to the defendant. The guy's ducking him, and he's suing him for $4,000, the money he's owed. This is the defendant, Michael Bilodeau. He says he broke up a fight between a guy and a girl at the plaintiff's bar, and the guy's friend ended up sneaking back into the place and attacked him. He wasn't even a bouncer, just the door guy. But because it was 2 days before Christmas, the plaintiff was short-staffed, and he was called into action. He simply defended himself while working for the plaintiff, and any money the plaintiff's out isn't his fault. He's accused of taking a beating.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome,
John
ma'am.
Maloney?
Yes, Your
You
Honor.
are suing Michael Bilodeau?
Yes.
Okay, for $4,000, the amount you posted for his bail when he got arrested, and according to you, he's supposed to pay back and hasn't. What happened?
We had an altercation that night at the bar.
What bar? This is a bar that you own?
Yes, Shay's American Bar and Grill in Manchester,
Okay.
Connecticut.
Now, hold on one second. You actually weren't there when it happened, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, I'll be right back with you. What happened?
Well, that night I was working. Normally we have about 5 to 6 bouncers, depending on whether we have the outside bar open or not. Altercation happened. I kicked the individual
How many
out.
bouncers did you have that night?
One, myself.
Okay.
I went to kick an individual out.
What does kick an individual out mean?
Ask an individual to leave.
Okay.
He was causing a disturbance.
Okay. What was the individual doing?
Him and a female were having an altercation.
Okay, were they physically fighting?
No, they were going back and forth verbally.
So you walk over to him or to her or to both?
To both.
And
I asked both parties to leave.
Okay.
That's her policy. If there's
Okay.
an altercation, both parties have to leave for the night.
Okay.
Well, the party that I asked to leave, he left, but he was there with a bunch of his friends. The individual left. When I came back in, one of his buddies came at me.
What did he do?
He came at me and took a swing. We ended up fighting. He had got
Okay,
the
did
short.
his swing make contact with you?
Yes.
Okay, and so what did you do?
We fought.
Okay,
got
is he
the
a
short
big
end
guy?
of his- From what I remember, probably not as big as me.
Right, you're big.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
5'11".
And how much do you weigh?
255 pounds.
I would not mess with you, but he messed with you. Was that guy intoxicated?
I believe so.
And then what happens?
Well, basically, he got the short end of the stick.
Okay, what does that mean? Break his nose, you put him in a
Pretty much-
wheelchair, what'd you do to him?
He had some abrasions to his head, I believe.
Anything else?
To my understanding, I don't know.
Did it, well, you know because
They
you've been
didn't
charged criminally, so I imagine you've made it your business to know.
They didn't tell me.
Do you know what the injuries to the other guy was on your premises? Because you're going to get sued.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, what were the injuries to the other guy?
I heard he had a broken jaw, numerous lacerations to his face.
Okay, so did the guy go in and out of the ER that night, or he didn't even go?
He went in and out of the ER. They arrested him actually at the ER.
They arrested both of them?
Correct.
How do they figure? Like, they don't know who started it?
Well, the other guy started it, Mike ended it.
So, but if the other guy started it, then why did they arrest Mike?
Well, I have no idea.
Did you ever ask? Did anybody ever ask? Like, how is it that...
The officer that was the shift leader down there said that he was basically tired of coming to Shays.
That he was tired of coming to his bar? What's the name of the bar?
Shays
American Bar and Grill.
Okay.
He said he was tired of coming there and he wanted to get the place shut down.
Okay. So now you're in custody and it is the day before Christmas?
Yes.
And all through the house. How does it happen? You beat the guy gets the short end of the stick. You're defending yourself, according to you. Is there blood everywhere?
Yes, there was blood.
Okay. What were the rest of the patrons doing? Like going like that and then just moving their chair a little and keep going? What were the rest of the...
It was by the front doors, ma'am.
Inside or outside?
The front doors, it was right before going outside. The front doors also got broken.
The front doors got broken?
Yes.
Because you physically threw them out?
Yes.
What do you say happened? What did they tell you happened?
Well, he physically threw him out and went through...
Physically, like threw him out like in the Old West?
Yeah, kind of.
What are the... Well, okay, since this is your bar, there were other people who were working at your bar who are your employees. What did they tell you happened?
They really didn't see it, and the reason is the bar is inside, and they are on the outside of that where the glass doors come in and out. Okay. So it was just Mike, and actually another one of my doormen was there that night, off duty, and he was helping the situation out.
Okay, so that doorman told you that what happened?
That the guy threw a punch at Mike. Mike took him down, gave him a beating, then he hauled him out, through the door, forgot to open it.
So did he break the doors?
Sure did, $600 worth.
Oh my goodness. So, you get arrested and he calls you and tells you I've been arrested. How do you find out?
I find out the other doorman, Jeff Berman, he went to him, he says he's getting arrested, he's gonna have to post bond. I told my manager at that time, send him up with $5,000 in cash, get him out, it's Christmas the next day, I don't want anybody standing, we'll figure it out later.
Did you ever talk to the other guys about posting bond, the people who worked there?
No, matter of fact, I actually had spoken to John. He had called the restaurant while this was going on.
So before they cart you away, you talked to him and what is discussed?
He said his words were, don't worry about it, my people will be down to get you out in 10 minutes.
Okay. So his people did come down and they dipped into the register and they went down and they posted a bond. Mm-hmm. The bond was how much?
$150,000 cash.
Why? That's really high.
I have a previous record.
How bad?
I did some time.
How much time?
5 years.
For what?
Selling drugs.
Any violent stuff?
No.
How long ago did you serve the 5?
I came home in 2006.
Okay. All right, so you get out that night?
Yes.
Next day?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when is the next conversation you have with him about the bond?
A couple days later.
And how's the conversation go?
It basically went along the lines of, by the way, that's not a gift, you owe me the money.
And then you say?
Like, what am I gonna say?
I don't know. What did you say is what I want to know, not what you're gonna say. I want to know what you said.
How am I gonna pay you?
Right.
There's no way I could get the money to pay me. And on top of it, I was no longer going to work there.
How did you know that?
He told me.
What did he say to you?
He told me that until the case was resolved, it would probably be better that I wasn't employed there.
And why is that, other than the obvious?
The obvious.
Okay.
Both of them got arrested in a pending lawsuit till I got things squared away. He came in, it was the very next...
You have off-track betting at that place?
Yes, we do.
And they don't allow you to have somebody with a pending case around there?
Well, I don't know if that is the law or not. That's something I didn't want to
Well, they don't even allow you to have
over.
somebody with a prior around there.
They would make the call, the state of Connecticut, whether he could work here or not. We've had guys with priors, and they have, after a period of time, they do diligence, and they let them work here. Depends what it is.
Okay. So you talk to him the next day, and you tell him, by the way, that's not a gift, it's a loan, and what happens?
Well, I told him he came in, he thanked me, you know, he didn't have to spend Christmas in jail. His family was right there. They were in the next room, they came down with him, and I said to him, you know, this is... you got to pay this back. He goes, yeah, I'm going to pay it back because I'm going to be working the door and I have another job. I said, well, you're not working the door. You have another job. You certainly can go get another job to pay it, but you're not going to be working here anymore. He says, well, I don't know how I'm going to pay it. And I said, well, you have to figure it out. Let me know. I'll get you in contact with a lawyer and see if you can get things worked out. And I gave him a lawyer's name. He went and saw him, and that's the last I ever heard of Mike. Never returned a call for a year.
And according to you, if he had not posted that bond, what would you have ended up doing?
If not, I would have sat there and put any money that I could have towards my legal defense. I've been through the situation before. I know how it is. If you can't afford it, your money's better off spent on a lawyer. And at that point, with that case in my record, that's where my money should go.
But what did you think? You knew that they were bonding you out. And what did you think?
Ma'am, when I heard my bond was $150,000, I didn't think I was going nowhere.
So how did you learn that somebody was bonding you out?
I didn't know until all of a sudden they came and got me out.
But you knew from him, from your conversation with him, that he was sending somebody with cash to bond you out.
That was before I knew how much the bond was going to be.
Right. And so his last words to you are, don't worry, I'll get somebody down there to help bond you out.
Yes.
And no one discusses, is this a loan or a gift?
Yeah.
So when it's not clear, what a court of law has to do is try to look at the circumstances to figure out whether it should be a loan or a gift.
I would have never accepted the money if I knew that I was going to have to pay that amount back.
I don't know. Think about it.
All rise.
So, is the restaurant owner responsible or the bouncer responsible for the $4,000 bail?
Well, I feel like because the bouncer was arrested, it probably means he wasn't doing his job properly. And at that point in time, the owner is no longer responsible.
But he's still doing it in the line of duty.
He's responsible for his own bail.
The bouncer is?
Yeah.
Anybody think the restaurant's responsible? Nobody? What do you think?
I don't know. I think I don't know. I really don't.
Fair enough. Fair enough. An abstention and 2 bouncers responsible. Going inside the courtroom.
Close one. Close one. Here's what I think. You get a call from the employee and there's a big hubbub and you are totally stand up and tell them, don't worry about it, it's Christmas, I'll get somebody out there to get you out. You tell somebody, take $5,000 out of the register, so you thought it might even be more.
And I also told...
Here's the issue. The issue is, at the time of the acceptance of your gesture, is it clear in his mind that this is a loan, okay? Now, he's your employee. You're the bar owner. The employee calls you and tells you what's going on. He's about to be arrested. You tell the employee, no worries, I will send somebody down there, you'll be out. You get somebody to get the money, you send somebody down there, and then the next day when he comes in, or a couple of days later, whenever it is that he comes in, you say to him, listen, you gotta pay this, but that's the first time that it comes up. Okay. The most important part of this testimony, ironically, in this entire trial, was his shady past. Because when he looks me in the eye and says, I've been here before, I know how this works. If I had heard that I was gonna have to pay it back, I'd rather use that money to pay a lawyer. I was a prosecutor for years. I know what he's saying is true. I know that he believes what he's saying, because what he's saying is actually true, right? It's actually true. Sometimes, don't be so desperate to get out. Wait and see if a judge will lower your bond. Wait and see if you're not, then maybe you just use that money towards your legal fees. That's kind of true. So when all this is happening without, he knows that you've told him you're going to pay for it. Maybe he thinks it's part of the employment process, that you're indemnified for this somehow. I don't know what he's thinking. I know this, though. For you to be able to collect it from him, I have to feel in my gut that he knew he was going to have to pay you back. I really, truly believe that if you had said, well, by the way, I'm going to take care of it now, but you got to pay me back tomorrow, this guy would have really told you, do not do it. I believe it with every fiber of my body. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
You've got to be kidding.
So because the plaintiff did not have a contract or create one at the time of the offer and acceptance, therefore the decision goes the other way. You understand that verdict?
I do. I don't agree with it. Obviously, he knew at that time he was going to have to pay that money back. She didn't see it that way, obviously, but that's it. Thank you.
All right. So come on in here. You win your case. Congratulations on that. What's your reaction to this outcome?
I'm happy with the outcome.
That kind of job that you were working in at that time, given what you're going through, may be the wrong kind of job to have.
Definitely. I would have never done the job if I knew I would be in that position.
So what kind of work are you looking for out there now?
I actually work in a sawmill.
That's better, right?
Yeah.
Can't get in any trouble over there?
No.
All right, good luck. Harvey?
Well, bail is not part of the employment relationship here, but in this case, the plaintiff did give the money to the defendant as a gift. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
Say goodbye to that messy drawer of hot hair tools and hello to the one. Introducing Shark Glam, Shark Beauty's new 5-in-1 multi-styler. Shark Glam offers wet or dry styling, air straightening, and glossing all with one tool. When air is not enough, Shark Glam has all hair types covered, using a breakthrough blend of hot air and ceramic technology. Shark Glam. One tool, endless styles, volume, shine, and bounce all day. Visit sharkbeauty.com to learn more.
When you want your spring break to feel like... and your kids' pool day to feel like... and your hotel bed to feel like... ooh, and room service to feel like... because at Hilton, hospitality feels like...
Your cabana's ready. Would you like fresh towels?
it matters where you stay. Book now at Hilton.com. Hilton, for the stay.
This is the plaintiff, Lisa Diwa. She says she was a good and faithful tenant for the defendants for 5 years, and now she's moved out and their true colors are showing. They simply refuse to return her security deposit. She's tried time and time again to get it, and now has no other choice but to bring them here to court to sue for the $300, which is rightfully hers. These are the defendants, Antoinette Ferraro and Eileen Menendez. Antoinette says the plaintiff had a cat which damaged their couch by scratching it all up. The woman never paid them the $300 pet deposit she was supposed to all the years she lived there. And if you ask her, this is about as open and shut a case as there is because they most definitely don't owe the plaintiff a cent. They're accused of catnapping a security deposit.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff lived in the defendant's apartment for 5 years and claims that they're swindling her out of her security. But the defendant says the plaintiff's cat scratched up the sofa. It's the case of cat got your security?
Thank you, Douglas. Ms. Diwa, you are suing Ms. Ferrara and Ms. Menendez?
Yes.
For $300 security deposit that you say they are wrongfully withholding.
Correct.
Tell me what's going on.
Okay, I rented a condo from defendants for 5 years.
Who owns the condo? Both of you?
We do.
Okay.
So in September 07 through September 2012, I had a monthly lease, monthly rental agreement. And last year, I received notice from them asking me to sign a 1-year lease.
Okay.
So I called defendants and I said that I could not commit to 1 year because I was planning on moving closer to work. So I said I can do month to month. So they said they'd send a new lease.
Okay.
So they sent me a new lease, but it did not reflect what we talked about on the phone. The new lease said that the best they could do is 6 months with 60 days move out.
Okay.
So I could not commit to that. So I sent a 30 days written notification.
Most people commit to a year, but okay. Whatever, you chose not to, and then you tell them 30...
I gave 30 days written notification that I would be moving out.
Okay.
So I moved out in 30 days, and we did not do a walkthrough. I did receive a message from defendant saying that a walkthrough wasn't necessary, that they had been through the unit a few times and everything was fine, and I have the message on my phone.
Okay.
I received that on, I believe, October 6th. So about 4 days later, I called them about my deposit, and I did not receive a response. I waited a week, called again, left another message, no response. So I assumed they would return my deposit to me.
Did you ever receive a letter from them telling you why they weren't returning the deposit?
I did.
When did you receive that letter?
I received it a little bit after 30 days.
Okay. What day did you move out?
I moved out on September 23rd, 2012.
What day were you paid up until? September 30th?
Yes, September 23rd.
On September 1st, how much rent did you pay?
Calculated it through the 23rd of September.
Okay, so you actually had that date as a date and they had agreed to it?
Yes.
Okay. And then when did you receive the letter from them?
I received their notification that they would not be returning my deposit it was October 30th. I received a notice of a certified letter. I wasn't home that day.
May I see the certified letter? Or whatever paperwork you have from that? All right. So why are you keeping her $300 deposit?
We're keeping it because there was on the contract, it says there's a $300 security deposit or deposit for animals. And she
in addition to the $300
In addition
deposit.
to the $300 security. She had 3 cats, and we never collected the $300.
But so what? The idea behind a deposit is you're giving it back if there's no damage. Are you saying that there's cat damage in the apartment?
Yes.
There's cat damage in the apartment?
Yes.
Okay.
In the apartment. We rented the apartment furnished. We left the furniture there
Okay,
for her.
I'm not talking about cat damage to furniture. We're going to talk about that in a second. Is there cat damage in the apartment?
Not in the apartment.
Okay,
itself.
then you would not be keeping that 300. So that would be something landlords have to return when there's no damage to the apartment. Okay, so now why are you keeping the 300? Because that can't be the reason. So what's the next reason?
Okay. The couch that we left for her to use.
Okay.
The cats used as the scratch thing.
Right.
And destroyed it. And she told us that the cats had destroyed the couch.
When did she tell you first of all, you left couches for her to use that in 2007 when you rented her. Did you buy the place and immediately rent it to her? Did you guys live there at any point? Or?
No, we bought it as an investment.
Okay.
And we didn't live there.
Was she your first tenant?
No, she was our second.
And the first tenant lived there how long?
A year, I think. About a year.
With that same furniture?
Yes.
How did you get that furniture?
It came with the apartment.
Okay, so when you buy the condo, it's been used for quite some time.
It's been used a couple of years, yeah.
So do we even know how old the furniture is?
A
couple of years. Hold on. She was there 5 years.
Yeah.
The tenant before that was there how many years?
Maybe a year. No, I think actually Bill was there about 6 months.
Okay, so 5, 6, let's say roughly. And then you got it used. It wasn't brand new when you got it, so it's over 6 years old. So it's not a couple of years. It's
not quite 6. I mean,
do you have an estimated value of that furniture?
No, I have. We took pictures of a couch that was similar in the price. That's not.
All couches kind of look alike. There's a part you put your behind in, and there's a part you put your back in. That's not really going to be
a vinyl couch.
Okay, and of course it was so it didn't have enough value for the last landlord to actually bother to move it. So they just kind of left it there. Do you have pictures of the couch?
No, unfortunately, I never took pictures.
Well, where did the couch end up? You tell them on the phone what?
Well, about 3 years after I lived there, I wanted to get my own furniture. So I called them and I said I would like to get my own furniture. What should I do with the furniture? There was also, in addition to the couch, there was a coffee table and a dining set. And it was.
Oh, by the way, is any of that covered in the original lease, the original month-to-month lease from 2007? Does it talk about furniture that's being left there?
It does not.
No. Doesn't. You should always cover that kind of thing. Okay, so go on.
So about, again, 3 years after I lived there.
Because according to you, she agreed to buy it.
Yes. She asked us if she should pay us for it, and we said, we'll talk about it later. You know, at that time, we just thought, well, we didn't have a number. We would talk about her buying it later. And so nothing came to fruition with that.
Okay, so go on.
Okay, that's incorrect because after living there for 3 years, I did call them and I did say that I would like to get my own furniture. What should I do with the furniture in the unit? I did say that my cat scratched up the couch and the love seat, so I will pay you for that. And that's all I offered. And they responded and said, no, that's okay. You don't have to pay us for the furniture.
Is that accurate?
We said she didn't have to pay us for it right then, that we would talk about it later.
Is that how they said it?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, so where did the furniture go?
Well, I asked them what they wanted, if they wanted it. They said, no, we don't want the furniture. I said, okay, what should I do with it? And they said I can do whatever I wanted with it.
Okay, did you get any of all this stuff in writing? Because you should really do that too when it's someone else's furniture you're getting rid of. Like emails. Do they email?
No.
Then certified letters or whatever,
no.
But something to cover yourself for the future. I'm just giving you instruction for if you ever find yourself in this position again.
Nothing in writing.
So what did you do with the furniture?
So I gave some of the furniture to my brother, and I have an affidavit from him, and then the rest I threw in the dumpster. It's a type of furniture. It was old, used.
So you didn't take a picture of the stuff your brother has so that I could see it?
No, he doesn't even have it anymore.
Okay.
He said it broke. He doesn't have it anymore. Okay. So I got rid of the furniture, but I did ask them if they wanted it. They said they did not. They told me I could do whatever I wanted with it. I said,
okay, and so you did. Now, there came a time, though, there's a third reason why you don't want to return it, because at some point during her tenancy, she says, I cannot pay $650 anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
She came to us, I think it was a year after she'd been there, and told us that her job position had been downgraded. She no longer could pay $650 a month in rent. She asked, would we lower the rent? So we decided, yes, we could do it to $600 a month. So and she said temporarily. Well, temporarily, 4 years later, she's still paying the $600 a month.
Okay,
and
now, that's very nice of you.
I know.
Okay, but here, and it's very nice of her. I'm not suggesting you shouldn't do this. Sometimes you look at a situation, you say, you know what? She pays like clockwork.
Right.
She doesn't call us a lot.
Right.
She's kind of the person I want living there, so I'm willing to take $50 less. It's a business decision.
Right.
Okay, that was your choice, though, right? No one put a gun to your head.
Yeah.
All right, now, what I would do if I was, because this case is so full of lessons, what I would do if I were in your position is if a tenant were to ask me, and this has actually happened to me, I can't hack it at this rate. I need to be able to lower the rate. And I love the tenant.
Right.
So I have lowered it, but if I have their security deposit, what I've done is I've said to them, okay, Here's what we do. We eat up your security deposit. We regroup after your security deposit. Does that sound fair? And I always get a thank you note and cookies after that because they're so happy, right? So, you know, you should be putting that kind of thing. I'm ready to say, well, this is going to eat up. It's not something it can occur to you 5 years later.
Exactly.
Because you guys didn't broach that topic. You just said, okay, we're looking at a month-to-month lease. She could leave next month. You know what? We like her. Let's just lower the rent.
Right.
So you lower the rent. So that's not a reason to keep the security deposit. What's number 4?
We're not business people. We're not business
so
people.
we
We're
just
kind of
thought, you know.
reluctant landladies. We bought this as an investment. It didn't sell. The market crashed. It was worth
So we had to
1/3. So we decided to go ahead and rent it, and we did. And it's funny that she said she was going to move closer to work because she ended up renting the unit right underneath.
Oh, she did?
Yes,
still
she
there.
did. She's still
Oh,
there.
awkward.
So that, you know.
Well, actually, I guess you're
and
doing that month to month, which is what works for
it
you.
just, whatever worked.
You know,
Right.
you know what's funny? Usually the month-to-monther is somebody who moves around nomadically.
Right.
You've stuck in the same place now for
Right.
7 years. Why can't you commit?
Is it possible that a cat could be in your apartment for 5 years and not do damage to your furniture? Who's a cat owner? Cat owner? What do you think?
It's possible.
Is it really possible?
Not likely.
Not likely. What do you think?
It's possible, but not likely.
Anybody think it's possible a cat can be perfect for 5 years? Seriously?
I do think it's very possible.
Do you have a cat?
He does.
Huh?
He does. I
No, I don't.
experience. It's
Huh? No, you don't have a cat? You can't even decide on whether you have a cat? Going inside the courtroom.
I bet there's a lot of people out there who are wondering that same answer to that question. Why can't you commit?
It was just I don't know. The lease was just said monthly.
How much are you paying in this next place?
It's a little more.
But now, according to you, you think that the reason they're withholding the money is a problem you're having with her son?
I had a problem with their son. Our cats got into a fight, and he blamed me for the cat fight. He said it was my fault. He said my cat beat up his cat. He also said my cat attacked him.
Yes.
And ever since then, we have not been
And you filed a complaint with the management?
I filed a complaint with management.
What was the complaint, on him or on the cat?
No, on him, because the second time after I moved downstairs to the new unit, he threatened my cats. Because my cats, one of them thinks we still live upstairs. So he'll go up the stairs.
They roam.
No, stay right there.
Okay. Well, they don't really roam. I have one that
They do. Well, the cat, I mean, you can't explain the whole lease situation of the cat. It's a cat.
It's a
They
cat.
smell themselves up there, they go back
Yeah.
there.
No, but the cat's always done that.
Yeah, it's a cat. It's an after a cat is going to do that. I mean,
the one where
this is what, your old balcony?
That's the balcony.
Who's living in there now?
My stepson.
Okay.
He lives there.
Is that who she's talking about?
Yes. My
Oh.
daughter and I own that unit, and now
I mean, you know,
my
if your cat is
stepson.
going to roam on somebody's property, there are lots of ways that, you know, somebody could stop that from happening.
I mean, John loves animals. He's not going to do anything. And what
sometimes
happened,
it's just scaring the animal.
Well,
Sometimes it's not
that
something that's...
doesn't work. Even when my daughter lived in that unit where my stepson is living, the door would open, the cat would immediately dash in.
Right.
And Joanne tolerated it, but John doesn't, not because he doesn't like the cats.
Yeah, he has a right to
another
not
cat.
tolerate it. So
Right.
did he file a cross complaint against her with the unit or no?
He had that in the works with his attorney, but I don't think he ever sent the letter.
Alrighty.
Yeah, and I did send her a notice saying that, you know, according to the condo association agreements, if the cat is a nuisance, something has to be done about it.
Right.
And nothing has been done. The
Okay,
cat's
well, you better
still-
do something about your cat because that is a nuisance. And you can't, you know, you got to figure out something. I don't know what the something is, but figure it out. If you don't take the matter to your hands, I'd take it into mine. But anyway, keep your cat to yourself or to your part of, not into someone else's private space, okay? And as far as the security deposit is concerned, for the reasons we've already discussed, I rule in favor of the plaintiff. Automatically, this case was against you from the beginning, and let me tell you why. And the state of Florida is one of the very strict states for landlords. You must, within 15 days, return the security deposit, and within 30, explain why you're not returning it in writing.
Right.
Okay? And if you don't, if it's day 31, 32, or 33 when you do it,
Yeah.
you're out of gas.
Well, we were out of town, and we did tell Lisa we were going
There's
out
no,
of town.
we were
That
out of
doesn't
There's
matter.
no
That's
exception to the
nothing matter.
statute. That's why
Okay.
they give you 30
I
days and not
understand.
3.
I
And,
understand.
you know, and even when they give you 3, there's no exception.
Right.
You got to do what the law requires you to do. You probably didn't know that, or you would have. So
Right.
now you know for the next time.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're only going to rent to relatives.
We'd love
We're
to
still
sell it.
learning.
You're still
If
learning.
anybody wants to buy a condo in Florida, let me know.
All right. Take care, folks. Good luck.
Well, here come the reluctant landlords out into the hallway here. Big smiles. What's going through your mind here after losing the case?
Well, as the judge said, it was a learning process, and we were, as I said, reluctant landladies, and we didn't really know all of
Well, you know about the law about 30. You have to
Now I know that.
put it in writing.
Oh, yes, everything
and give 30
in
days.
writing. It's,
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
still a learning process.
All right. And you're going to hold on to the property and everything?
If the market value
As
goes
I
up, we're selling
said,
it.
anybody wants a condo in Florida, let me know.
Judge says it's going up. Now's
Yes,
the time
it's
to
going
hold,
up.
no?
We've got to wait a few more years.
Okay. All right. Right down this way. All right. They've learned a lesson. Cost them $300, which goes into your pocket. Step on in here. You satisfied how this
Very
worked out?
satisfied. Yes,
Were they good
very
landladies?
I never had a problem with them. I never thought we would end up here, you
Mhm.
know? So I'm very pleased with the judgment.
Seemed like they worked with you when you needed a lowering of the rent and everything.
Yes, absolutely. You know, I never had a problem with them.
You still see them around because you live right downstairs,
No,
right?
they don't live there. They live down the street.
You don't see them?
No.
Okay, Harvey?
So states have different rules on security deposits, but there are a lot of states that say that if a landlord doesn't follow the rule to the letter, the landlord could be responsible for as much as 3 times the actual security to teach him a lesson. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This episode is brought to you by Peloton. Step up your sweat with the Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus. Swivel your screen 360 degrees and follow your favorite instructors on and off your tread. Track your form and reps with the movement tracking camera. Feel supported as you train on the cushioned slap belt and move to the beat with Sound by Sonos. Elevate your workouts with the Cross Training Tread Plus.
This is the plaintiff, George Bullock. He says he moved a stove, put in water lines for a dishwasher, and hooked up an ice maker for the defendant's friend, and the louse is stiffing him on his labor fee. The defendant's a con man, and since he has a brother who's a con man, he knows how to spot them. Bottom line, he wants his $250 labor fee, and he wants it now. This is the defendant, Chris Turner. He says he's known the plaintiff for about 10 years, and he hooked him up with another friend of his who needed some work done at his house. The plaintiff didn't make any kind of deal with him for the job. He just put the two of them together to help a friend out. He certainly doesn't owe the plaintiff any money because he had nothing to do with the deal. He's accused of conning a friend.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff did a bunch of stuff the defendant had him do, including putting a water line in. Says he got stiffed, but the defendant says the work wasn't for him, so tough. It's the case of Mr. Handy ain't feeling dandy.
Thank you, Douglas. Okay, George Bullock.
Yes.
You are suing Chris Turner, your, I guess, former friend, for $250 that you say he owes you for work that he had you do and never paid you for. Tell me what's going on.
Well, he took me up to North Jersey, had me do a number of jobs for this guy. And when it came time to get paid, or as I finished, he just walks out the door talking about...
Okay, but what do you do for a living?
I clean windows, Your Honor. I have a window cleaning service.
Okay, and what kind of work were you doing?
I was doing basically plumbing work.
Okay. According to you, you hook him up with a job.
Yes.
And did you stay there while he was doing the job?
Yes, I did.
And what was the job supposed to be?
Well, what he's supposed to do, he's supposed to do some drainage, some plumbing work for him, set a gas line back for him, and that's basically it.
Okay, well, what did he do?
No, first of all, let me go back. I take him to go introduce him to the guy, what work that had to be done. That's between him and the gentleman, right? They talk
I don't know.
it out.
Did you meet the gentleman first and then go do the work? And did you talk with the gentleman directly?
No, basically, Chris was like in between. He said he was going to write this up and write that up, and none of it ever happened. He had his book. He was writing stuff down.
Okay.
In his book. So he's like, okay, you want this for this, you want this for that. I said, okay, yes, I want it.
Okay, so who decides the price?
I did. You know, I was giving him a friendly discount, you know, because just to move
so
a gas line would have cost.
You tell who, and who's the one who agrees to the $250?
They both did. It was like, okay.
And then you start working without writing it all down?
Yes.
Okay. And then the work that you were supposed to do was what?
I was like, I moved the stove back about a foot.
Okay.
I put the lines on the dishwasher, and I hooked up an ice maker.
Okay.
And I did some drain work up on the second floor.
What's drain work?
Like I changed some pieces of pipe in his drain line in his trap.
Okay.
In his tub.
Okay. And did you unclog as well?
I had did that before. I had been there another time.
Are you
prior.
okay? Are you okay? Are you nervous?
Yeah, but just...
Take a deep breath. I don't bite. It's okay. Can you give him some water or something? You're killing me. I feel like I'm going to give you a heart attack. I can't even keep asking you questions because I'm so afraid of what's going to happen. Just chill.
No,
It's okay.
I'm going to be fine. It's just.
I know. Don't worry. Okay. So, so did you snake it?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, this was another incident. I had been up
previously?
there before. Yeah, I had been up there
you'd been
before.
to that house before?
Yes.
How long earlier?
A week or so. That's what.
Oh, that's why you think it's 2 times. All right, so you had been to the house earlier, you snaked it. On that day, do you agree to the $250 for the rest of the work, or you come back another day and agree to the $250?
I came back another day.
Okay, so they asked you to come back and do more work, and then you agree to the $250 for the rest of the work.
Yes.
On the day 1 where you paid any money?
Yes.
You got the $100?
Yes.
Okay, and that was paid by whom to whom? Go ahead, take a sip.
It was,
Take your time.
well, I don't know the owner's name, but it was his.
The owner put it in your hands?
I think Chris did.
Okay, but whose money was it?
It was the owner's.
Okay, and then so you got paid for that. Then you get invited back, and then they discuss the other scope of work, and then you do all of the other work.
Yes.
But you didn't get paid before you left. How come?
Well, like I said, Chris was like, "Okay, come on, let's go." I'm like,
Well, wait a second. Why did you say, hold on, slow your roll, baby?
Well, he was
I need
like,
to get paid.
We're going to have to do some more stuff. So
Say it again?
He said we were going to have to do more stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, but why don't you just get paid for this stuff?
Like I said, he's a con artist.
He's a con artist. I'm not understanding why you did something that you did, not why he did something he did. I'm asking you, why would you leave without getting paid?
I don't know. I have to be more careful.
Okay, so then you left, and then a couple days later, you start calling him to get paid?
Yes.
And what did he tell you?
Oh, the drain upstairs is stopped up.
Okay.
I'm like, well, that has nothing to do with the ice maker, the stove, and the dishwasher.
Right. And what's your response to that? Why didn't you pay him?
Oh, I have nothing to do with paying him. That's the deal.
Okay, but why did everybody leave that day without your friend paying him?
First of all, we went up there the first time to look at it. This is what I'm trying to say to you. He looked at it. They had a discussion about what it was going to cost. As he's shown us the first time we went, I think it was a misunderstanding between the two because he thought he was going to do it all for $125.
Why would anybody do all that work for $125?
That was a misunderstanding between him and they was up there talking. I mean, I'm just listening to them.
But how do you not intercede so that, you know...
He just came to look at it. And then the second time we went up there, we brought the equipment up there. We're up there for 6 hours. He's doing his work.
Why are you there for 6 hours if it's between the two of them?
I'm driving him up there to his job. He don't have transportation. Well, I hooked him up with the guy.
But why are you doing all this?
Because I'm just helping George out. I help anyone out. They have a little talent or something like that. Just
At
to help
the time,
them
I had transportation before he took it.
Okay. Before who took it?
Him and his partner.
What do you mean him and his partner took your transportation?
Like I did some work for his partner, and the work was supposed to be for a truck. And after I finished doing the work, I got the bill of sale, and the guy told me to use the truck. Then they wanted me to pay a lot more money a month for the truck. I'm like, I have a bill of sale. And they came in, like, just took the truck and dropped stuff on my porch. And he said, oh, this truck is under IC, window cleaning, and I'm protecting my ass. I'm like, this truck is not under IC because, like, I called the police. It was actually under his partner's name.
All right. In any event, you haven't answered my question. Why do you leave without him getting paid? Why does nobody pay him?
He was supposed to come back up. He was supposed to come back with his equipment again.
To do what?
Proper equipment to drain it. When he had the snake, I believe it was a snake, it didn't have the right piece on the head of it to drain it out properly. So he said he'll come back up and drain it properly.
Were you supposed to come back up with a different piece to drain it properly?
No.
Okay, and according to you, the homeowner was expecting him to come back and do something else?
Yes, to come back with the proper snake with a piece that's on it, not doing it manual with a piece that he had for the one
And whose
drain.
idea was that, to come back and do it with a different piece?
Between the owner and George. You have to ask George.
No, I'm asking you.
Yes.
What happened instead?
George never came back to do it because he said he didn't get paid properly.
Okay, so it was like, which came first, the chicken or the egg? So he tells you, I need my money, and you tell him, what are you talking about? You still have work to do?
Yeah, it's like, George, you're not even finished with the work that you've done.
But he did all this other stuff that he didn't get paid for. Even if he didn't finish everything, he did some.
He paid them the $100.
Did that homeowner pay you any money? No,
he didn't pay me anything.
Okay, the $100 is for a completed transaction from the past.
Right.
Now we have a $250 job, which is really cheap, unless it doesn't get done. Okay, according to you, the only thing left to do, he moved the gas lines, moved the stove back, put in dishwasher lines, which I'd kill to get that for $250, but okay. All right, and then he the last thing left is to supposedly, according to you, not according to him, but according to you, to come back and say something. Then why wouldn't that just be a portion of it withheld instead of the whole thing withheld? Did the homeowner pay you any money?
No, ma'am. No, Your Honor. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll take it, ma'am. You wouldn't believe what I hear here.
So is the guy who hooks the handyman up responsible here?
No, not at all. I think when you have a business, you have to do your own due diligence and find out who you're dealing with. So I don't think that guy is responsible at all.
It's the homeowner who's responsible.
Sure. Just about anybody who does the deal, that's the one who's on the hook.
I think you're right. Going inside the courtroom.
Like I said, he's a con artist. He does stuff.
Who's a con? Like you said, he's a con artist?
Yes.
Why were you doing work with him then?
Stupidity.
Did the $100 go from the owner's hand to your hand to him?
No, ma'am.
Okay, gentlemen. Here's a problem I have. I really think that you should get paid. At worst, then maybe there's a portion that you shouldn't be paid. That's at worst.
Yes.
The problem that we have is that you want him to pay you. Why didn't you sue the homeowner?
I have no knowledge of the homeowner. All I know is him.
Oh, well, you should kind of know that when you're, working for somebody.
Well.
Do you have his address?
I can get his address, yes.
Can you get it right now?
I can call him and get it right off the bat. It's not a problem.
Yeah, we're going to give you that information. Because you can't just sue somebody because you can't find the other person. You got to sue the right person.
Well, like I said, I think he pocketed the money.
Yeah, I understand that, but you don't have any evidence of that.
No, I don't.
And the bottom line is that if anything, he is in the eyes of the law a disclosed agent. He is not a plumber who's subcontracting something to you. He basically says, I know a guy, he needs work, and then he takes you over there, and then the guy pays you. I don't think it went through his hands. I think that you're desperately trying to hook it up to him because he's the only guy whose name you have. But that does not a lawsuit make. You've got to sue the right person. Next time, make sure you know the name, number, and address of the person who you're doing work for. I am ordering you to give him the name, number, and address, because it's a court order, and you'll leave here with that appropriate information. In my opinion, that person owes you money, okay? But you can't collect it from him because he's not the guy you did the work for. You really did the work for the homeowner. And that's my ruling, verdict for the defendant.
And so the ruling is for the defendant because the judge says that you have to sue the right party. He's not the right party. What do you plan to do? Go ahead and get the information and sue the homeowner?
Yes. But like I said, this guy's a con artist. He probably pocketed the money in the homeowner. When I sue him, he's going to say the same thing.
We'll see what happens then. Why is he a con artist? Wasn't he a friend? Wasn't he trying to help you out by driving you there or anything like that?
Well, like I said, he took my truck.
Yeah.
And that's why I have no transportation. So he's not really trying to help me.
That's your friend.
So-called.
Yeah. All right.
All right, sir.
All right. Good luck on your next lawsuit against that homeowner. So come on in here. Are you trying to help the man out?
Just trying to help a friend out. He's a great guy. George is a great guy. I knew George for a little while here. He's a great guy. I know he's down with some things. I'm just trying to encourage to help anyone out that has a little talent.
I mean, what kind of help was it to get him a job that's 6 hours long for $100?
No, sir. It was up to him to get it, the amount that he wanted to do the job for. But
if you were helping out, maybe you could advise a little bit there.
Oh, well.
Get him a better deal.
I know nothing about plumbing. I know nothing about any of those things like that. If it's
You don't know
into a
anything.
window job, I know a whole lot.
Windows. All right. Harvey?
Well, I mean, there's no doubt in the world that the middleman is not responsible. And obviously now this handyman can turn around and sue the homeowner. What is puzzling here and just bizarre is why he didn't sue the homeowner in the first place.